The attack on Charlie Hebdo slaughtered some of the best-known satirical cartoonists in France. But this is clearly about much more than cartoons or satire. Joining me now is a man who knows a lot about both and has a lot to say about the attack. It's Harry Shearer. He has been a starring voiceover actor on The Simpsons, one of the most successful and irreverent shows in television history. Let's take a listen to this.
The Lord is vengeful. Oh, spiteful one, show me who to smite, and they shall be smoten.
Homer, God didn't set your house on fire.
No, but he was working in the hearts of your friends and neighbors when they went to your aid, be they Christian, Jew, or miscellaneous.
Hindu. There are 700 million of us.
Oh, that's super.
Harry, welcome.
Thank you, and bless you.
Thank you. So, you know, I'm sure these characters offend a lot of people, but when you play them, do you ever worry about offending someone?
No, I don't. And, you know, the interesting thing about The Simpsons is we started out being denounced by a lot of conservative Christians because Bart was supposedly a bad role model. And about year 16, I started doing interviews with Christian magazines because they noticed that The Simpsons had the only two avowedly Christian characters on network primetime television, both of whom I play, Ned Flanders and Reverend Lovejoy. So they finally, you know, saw the whole elephant eventually.
Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts when you heard about this attack on Charlie Hebdo?
You know, shocked, horrified. I think we need to come to a point where heinous acts are, the creators of heinous acts are described as that and no more. Whatever slogans are intoned, whether they be avenging the prophet or these were patriots and some mistakes were made, when heinous acts are committed, we should call the people who commit them by their real names, which are barbarians or savages.
Mm-hmm. I spoke earlier with Reza Aslan. I think you were able to hear that, and we talked about whether this was akin to making fun of Jews and blacks, and you say?
No, I mean, your example was making fun of the people who happen to be in racial or religious groups with reference to stereotypical attributes that have been laid on them for many years. What Charlie Hebdo was doing was making fun of the superstructure of various religions. They got sued 14 times by the Catholic Church. They were pretty Catholic in their approach to this, but they were not making fun of the members of the religions, the believers. They were making fun of authority figures. Satire is about making fun of the powerful and powerful in every walk of life, be it politics or religion or education. And by the way, satire is meant to draw blood.
I think he said, but it was the larger culture, or the culture in power is basically, I think, the connection that Reza was making. So you don't think it's the same?
Yes, and then you hear a lot of people in the conservative Christian community in America thinking that there's a war on the dominant culture in America. So you can't win when you start getting into that game.
Okay.
Everybody gets a right to feel offended. Everybody gets a right to feel victimized, and then you got nowhere to go.
Not long after we learned about the attack, I want to read you something that you tweeted here. You said, "This just not in. FBI almost certain Paris attack on satirical magazine caused by North Korea."
Yes,
Why?
I did.
Was it too soon?
Well, the FBI was too soon. You know, if you want to go back to that, the FBI wasted $400 million being unable to update their own computer system, and yet they were quick to the mark with a conclusion that most people in the tech world have rejected as spurious. So I was just making fun of their overuse of alacrity in coming to a wrong conclusion about a public event. But I think, you know, whenever these events happen, we're quick, whether we have the FBI at our hands or not, to try to draw conclusions about people. And as I said before, to assume that we know what was in their minds, and that what was in their minds was important. You know, Charlie Manson had an agenda. Who cares? He was a committer of barbarous and heinous acts, and he's where he belongs.
What about the notion, though, Harry, that just because you can do it, that doesn't mean you should do it? Maybe one should be more respectful of someone's religion or someone's religion or belief, and not parody it.
Respect has no place in satire. Respect belongs perhaps in journalism. We've seen, you know, various journalistic organizations make various decisions as to whether or not to reprint the offending images. And it should be noted that some of these organizations have tentacles in a lot of other businesses besides journalism, so they have reason to fear, you know, attacks not just on their journalists, but on other aspects of their business. The great thing about Charlie Hebdo is they were in only one business, satire. And when you start doing respectful satire, you know, you should get out of the
They're going to publish again next Wednesday. What are your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it. They said they may only do 2 pages, but they're going to publish. I think, you know, we all in the satirical communities, if there is such a thing, expecting them to try to find a way to laugh at all this.
Mm. Harry Shearer in New Orleans.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don.
Shearer has a show on YouTube. It's called Nixon's the One, and we appreciate him joining us. Also.